Good. Hey John, Matt Perry.
Hey Matt.
Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you
Appreciate
for
taking the time.
Yeah.
Point of our meeting today is basically just for me to get to know you a little bit better and find out what you're looking for, and also to walk you through the process. I found that my clients really appreciate us going through the process ahead of time and making sure that there's not any surprises down the road.
Gotcha.
So, give me a little bit of background on where you guys are living right now.
Well, we live in Missouri.
Okay.
And we're relocating to North Carolina, Raleigh.
Great. What's bringing you out here?
Well, my job. I got relocated here and trying to sell my house back home right now.
Okay.
My wife will be intimately involved.
Sure.
Once we make a decision.
What's her name?
Her name's Lisa.
Okay.
Lisa Pace.
Great. And what line of work are you in?
I'm with Quintiles.
Okay.
We're just relocating with Quintiles here. Just got a job opportunity.
Great.
I feel like we've looked at North Carolina a little bit, and
sure.
I think Raleigh's a good place to raise a family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. When would you be starting that job?
I actually already started.
Okay, so you're here and started.
I'm living in corporate housing right now,
okay.
And looking to move mom and the kids down here.
Gotcha.
Try to get them in before school starts, if at all
sure.
possible.
How many kids do you have?
We have 2.
Okay. Boys, girls?
I have a boy that's 8.
Okay.
He'll be starting the 3rd grade, and my daughter's 2, starting the 2nd grade.
Okay.
So schools are going to be important to us.
Sure.
My son's Jackson.
Okay.
My daughter's Ava.
Great. Pretty name.
Thank you.
So they excited about the move?
I don't know. They've got their friends back home, so
sure.
It's going to be a little stressful for them.
Sure.
Stressful for all of us, actually.
Well, hopefully we can get that timing to work out where they can start school at the beginning of the year and
make
everything goes smooth.
I hope so.
So you're selling your house, and that's on the market in Missouri?
It is, and we just put it on the market.
Okay.
And, the market's not that great there.
Sure.
And I'm thinking I may have to take a little bit of a loss there.
Sure.
So I just want to let you know, Matt, one of the big things I'm interested in, and I'm sure you're getting this a lot, I need a deal.
Absolutely.
Okay, now my wife is not going to be as focused on that, but
sure.
I've got to do the financing here.
Yep.
So when we talk about this, you're going to have to talk to her more about bedrooms and baths and that situation. Sure. But at the end of the day, I'm going to have to take a loss on the other end. I'm looking to make it back.
You're looking to pick it up, right?
I'm looking to pick it up on this
well,
side.
The great news is with the rates where they are right now, John,
yeah.
that you're going to be in a good position to buy more house for the money.
Right.
And certainly there's some great deals out here in Raleigh. And
sure.
I focus on the buying side, so I'm out in the field a lot.
Sure.
So
sure.
That's definitely something we can do for you.
Right.
So certainly our timing will depend on when you get the other house under contract. As far as getting everybody out here, have you had a chance to talk to a lender yet?
Have got a couple of meetings set up, but I hadn't made this. Do you have anybody you could?
I do, and I encourage you to talk to several people.
Yeah.
I've got some people. I'll have Chris give you a call with SunTrust.
Okay.
He does a lot of our loans and.
Well, just thinking a little bit about the loan, and again, you hear a lot of information about the market today.
Sure.
I don't want to have any problems with it.
Absolutely.
And sometimes I think if I start using folks I don't know how that's going to work out. So if you know someone that you feel comfortable with, and you know that if things start going south, you can step in their office.
Absolutely.
I feel pretty confident with
that. I think we're 100% on the same page there, John.
Okay, good.
That's a big asset, and I was going to talk about that later. But basically, having that relationship, if there are some bumps when we get into the process, being able to call that person and they have an invested interest in me, that they know what I expect as far as taking care of my clients, and I expect a high level of service on their end, and doing multiple deals with them, they're going to go out of their way to take care of you. So that's a huge benefit. I'm glad you appreciate that.
Sure.
Certainly, time frame is flexible based on the other home. Will this be your second home or?
Yeah, it's not my favorite thing to buy a house before I've sold mine.
Sure.
But I'm feeling confident enough on the other end that we're going to be aggressive.
Sure.
So if we find the right house, what's really driving me, and I know it's going to be driving my wife, is getting those kids in school.
Absolutely.
So if we find it, and it's a perfect opportunity, I think we can pull the trigger. And I may need to set up a conference with your lender as well, so we can get. Is that a big thing in this market to be pre-qualified?
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's something really more for your standpoint, so that you feel comfortable making a decision that you've already explored those options.
Right.
So to get that nailed down with the lender that's an option, you could do that financially, and that you're comfortable with that, I would be good to go. But also, before we make an offer, we need to have a pre-qual letter. So if the other home's not sold yet, we want to know that we've got the backing of the
That's
lender
right.
to
That's
go
right.
move forward.
I understand that.
Great. Well, give me a brief rundown. I'll probably get some more details from Lisa as far as the everything. Right. But give me a brief synopsis of the kind of price range you're looking at.
Well, I probably want to look at amenities and locations before I delve into price.
Okay.
Again, at the end of the day, I want to make sure I'm buying a good property. And,
sure.
What I'm going to rely on you for, especially in this environment, is that we do make a good decision. I've sold enough real estate to realize that you make your money on the buy.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to be interested. We got to have 4 bedrooms.
Okay.
I got to have a 2-car garage.
Sure.
And the school district is
paramount.
The elementary school district, and so is going to be paramount. Now I've read some information about it's a little volatile right now around here, and I'm going to trust you to help me out with that.
Sure.
But Lisa's going to definitely be interested in this school, and if you can provide us some routes to find some information on the elementaries, that's going to be helpful. But
are you trying to be pretty close to work out there? I know Quintiles is in the RTP area.
Yeah.
Is that where you're focusing?
Closeness for me to be at the work is not going to be the driving factor. It's going to be closeness to the schools.
Okay.
It's going to be, we're probably going to, from a safety standpoint, I'm going to look for a subdivision, if you will. And, again, I'm just going to be fearful on the buy because I'm having to be aggressive on my sale. And
absolutely.
I tell you what I'm looking for at the end of the day from a buyer agent, and it's going to be information.
Absolutely.
I want you to be able to tell me what's going on with this house, why are they moving, just, really help me walk through it.
Sure.
And I feel confident, we've talked enough that you're going to help me with the transaction, but
absolutely.
I just want some experience here, Matt, and we're good qualified buyers. We're in this together.
Sure.
So just want you to help me out with them.
Well, I'm going to be able to pull together the information, certainly on the schools. Wake County has a great website. They have some good resources as far as their EOG scores and integrated scores.
Right.
And that will kind of outline at a particular school how many kids are at or above grade level. So that's a good analytical way to say this is a good quality school. 90% of the kids are at or above their grade level. I can help you out with the safety as far as areas and whatnot. If you need crime statistics, I can get you that stuff.
Right.
But yeah, I'm gonna basically, my job really is to be a consultant to this process, John. I'm here to educate and consult and get you the answers to questions you have, so that you and Lisa can make a solid decision.
Sure.
Ultimately, the decision is gonna be up to you, but I'm just here as a consultant to provide my knowledge of the area.
Right.
And get you the answers to those questions.
Yeah. So. If I had my way, we'd probably come in town and rent a little while so we could get a feel for the neighborhood. But I don't want to be putting pressure on you, but since we need to get this done, I'm going to really lean on you about as far as you directing us to a good community.
Absolutely.
Something that, benefits what we're looking. And Lisa, again, she's going to be able to provide you a lot more detail than me. I'm again going to be the pocketbook guy.
Absolutely, so. Absolutely. And usually I like to have both of you here in this instance. Obviously, that's not the case, but I'll get with her, whether it has to be on the phone, and get some more of those nuts and bolts of the specifics of the home.
Right.
So we can talk more about that. As far as the amenities go, one other thing I did want to ask you about, as far as we talked about nailing down a community. Are those going to be important? Having amenities, pool, tennis courts, things like that?
I think it probably will. Okay. We may look at a club membership or something, and I just want to get an idea. Have those been going up? What's the most popular club? And it's from my point of view, it's going to stem back to resale.
Sure.
I'm going to be really focused on resale.
Absolutely.
Heaven forbid we have to move again anytime soon, but just like anybody else now, if I'm having to take a chance to sell and be aggressive on that end, I'm going to want to make a good decision.
Sure. And to be honest with you, John, that's always in my back of my mind. We're Wilson Realty Group. We're in the business of having clients for life.
Sure.
So I want you to be able to call me in 3 years or 5 years or 20 years and say, hey, we're ready to sell now.
Well, that's what I'm looking for.
And be in a solid position.
Right.
And we talked briefly on the phone, but the way we're set up, Ashley's our owner, and she handles the listing side. So if you guys did have a home to sell, or when you decide to sell, she would handle that side of the transaction, and obviously I work on the buy side as a lead buyer's agent. So we feel like that really allows us to specialize. I'm out in the neighborhood, I'm seeing homes, every day. I'm daily working with buyers, so people like yourself in the same position. So,
gotcha.
I know you've been through this process before. I want to just kind of quickly run back through the home buying process again. I know you've done a lot of this before, but
sure.
Just humor me.
Well, I know it changes quite often.
It does, and you know what? I'd rather be repetitive now and answer all your questions up front than have surprises down the road, and I feel like that's the best way to handle that. We're meeting today just to do initial consultation like we talked about, get all the answers from you. I'll get Chris to give you a call this afternoon if that works for you.
Yeah,
go ahead and get that ball rolling and certainly explore the option to go ahead and move forward. As far as looking for a home, obviously we're going to be going out and looking. I'm going to try to, after I talk to Lisa, send you guys some homes to look at on the internet. Okay. That gives me, once you can look at pictures, you can get a better idea of your likes and dislikes. It's a little hard to discuss the details on that. I can give you feedback on areas and we can discuss the schools and then kind of get a game plan. Once you nail down, let's say 3 or 4 neighborhoods that look like they're of interest to you, then you and I can get out and go take a look at those.
Certainly.
Once we get to the point where, leases come out, we've found a house and you're ready to make an offer, then what I will do is, like I said before, just really consult you. Pull together comps, what's sold, what's active in the neighborhood, what that neighborhood's doing as far as appreciation. That's obviously important to you.
Sure.
And really just give you all the facts and then help you, put together an offer.
Gotcha.
As far as putting together the offer, I just discussed this ahead of time. You're probably familiar with the earnest money. You had mentioned before you're looking around $400,000, so you're looking at about 1%, or
as far as earnest money goes.
So about $4,000 there. That would go with the offer, and then once we get the offer negotiated, which we pride ourselves on our negotiating skills, and that's what we're going to do for you. We negotiate about 1% under the market here, so
is that
we
really
get you about 1% more than what the market's doing. So versus like a Pace Realty Group or one of those guys, we're going to really get you that extra dollar in your pocket.
Gotcha.
Once we get the offer finalized, we'll have inspections set up. So I've got a great home inspector. We'll do a pest inspection and also radon. Are you familiar at all with radon? Is that an issue in Missouri?
It is not, but I've read a little bit about it. So.
It's basically a tasteless, odorless gas. It's the second leading cause of lung cancer. Smoking, and so basically what it is, we test, number one, to make sure you're not moving in with Jackson and Ava and having health concerns. Priority 1. Priority 2, resale. We don't want you to be in a position where somebody else has come in and done a test, the levels are high, now you've got to pay to
resale.
So again, it goes back to resale. So I would help you get all these inspections set up. Again, I've got great contacts here. If you know anybody here and there's somebody you want to use, I'm assuming you don't have any contacts in Raleigh in that area.
I don't, and I probably feel comfortable about using your folks again if you're going to help me for life. So
absolutely.
So I will probably be fine with using your people, especially if you know them. I want you to be able, if there's a problem, to go walk in their office.
Absolutely. Yep. That's how it works. So.
Okay.
So basically, your earnest money and your inspection costs, which would be in this case around about $600 total, are going to be your out-of-pocket money prior to closing.
Okay.
And everything else will be based on your down payment and what you decide to put down. I'll basically take care of everything from there as far as setting up, inspections, getting appraisal ordered with the lender, survey, all that stuff will be taken care of. So this kind of outlines all the duties that I'm going to be taking care of. You're going to be working here at Quintiles full time. You got the family back and forth. This is why you have me, so I can take care of all this stuff from start to finish and make this a seamless process for you.
Right.
Any questions on the process?
Well, I guess the question I'll have for you, I guess you understand that me, it's going to be all about that pricing.
Sure.
Are you seeing an average, what are people coming in at now right out of the box?
It's a good question. I've got a good overview of the market right here.
Okay.
And basically, in your price range, we're looking in that 400 to 450 range.
Okay.
Couple things on here. The inventory is at about 9.8, so right around 10 months.
Okay.
What that basically means is if no other house is on the market, it would take about 10 months to sell what's currently listed.
Okay.
Now, the cutoff between a buyer's and seller's market is around 6 or 7. That's considered neutral. So we are in somewhat of a buyer's market in that price range.
Okay. Have you seen this increase in the last 3 or 4 months?
In the last 3 or 4 months, I would say that's gone up about a month.
Okay.
The days on market is another thing that we look at. So that's in that price range, we're about 136. That's probably gone up about 20 days in the last couple months.
Right.
So again, that's another indication that gives us a little bit more leeway.
Gotcha.
So you can expect an average of 96%. List price to sales price.
96%.
And like I said before, we usually negotiate at least 1% under that, give or take. Obviously, each neighborhood is going to be different, so you might have another neighborhood that's closer to 100, and there might be another that we can get, closer to 92%.
I wonder, is that percentage? Do you know if the average list price here, if they've had a price reduction, or if that's just the list price?
Good question. Yeah, a lot of them have.
Okay.
So that ratio is and that's something we'll look at. I mean, when we walk in a home, I'm going to be able to tell you this home started at 525, they dropped to 500, now they're at 5. Yeah, I'm going to give you a background on the house, how long it's been on the market, and all those factors play into what we offer and where we come in.
Now, when we come in, I've been in environments where it was more of a seller's market, and you could offend people before.
Sure.
I'm just assuming that it's not as offensive as it used to be when you come in a little low.
Yeah,
what are you seeing?
It's not as offensive. It still comes down to, just like your house in Missouri. I mean, you've taken pride in the house, you built it. So if the market shows it to be at 450 and somebody comes in at 350, what are you going to say to that? Also? It's a similar situation. So again, I like to kind of get into those details once we have all the numbers in front of us, and we're ready to make that offer.
Sure.
But I'm not here to help you steal a house, but I'm here to help you get a good deal.
Okay. So, and you work with the people around here selling houses quite often.
Absolutely. I've got good relationships with the top agents, I do deals, so the agents that have a lot of the listings, I have good working relationships with them.
Gotcha.
So.
Gotcha. Okay.
And part of Keller Williams is we have one of the largest offices in this area. So the nice thing for you is, the people like Ashley and John Pace, and that have a lot of these listings, I work closely with them. I have good relationships with them, so I can really.
We're working with KW in Missouri, so
great.
Had a good situation with them so far.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, another advantage for you is, oftentimes, if John's got a listing coming on, I'll find out about it before it even hits the market.
Yeah, so, and that's something I'd really like from you.
I mean, I can possibly, we can even see something if it fits your criteria after I talk to Lisa that hasn't even hit the market yet. We can go take a look.
I was going to mention that to you. If we do find the right criteria, and I think we'll be able to drill that down, the school's going to be driving it.
Sure, absolutely.
We find that neighborhood we really like. I may want you to get aggressive in there, even if it's not on the market. So that's something we can talk about.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
A couple other things we've talked about already. We've got a Premier Partners group set up. We're basically with Chris and Denise on the lending.
Okay.
If you need a landscaper, Robin is our inspector. He does a wonderful job.
Okay.
So basically, I'm your resource for anything and everything with real estate.
Gotcha.
So you need something. You need a painter. You need a landscaper, call me and I'll get you a trusted person that has worked with clients in the past and I know is going to take good care of you.
Well, I'm going to need you because they're working me to death right now.
Absolutely, so, you got to focus on putting food on the table for them kids.
Exactly.
Couple other things I like to mention. Obviously, I think you recognize the advantages of working with a buyer's agent. When you go look at a house, the selling agent is obviously representing the seller.
Right.
I'm representing your best interest. I'm going to be able to tell you anything I know. Give you all my expertise, background on the home. So obviously I'm compensated by the seller, so it really works out well for you.
Okay.
You're familiar with mortgage write-off with your taxes.
Yes.
So there are some benefits to homeownership. Any credit issues that I would need to know about?
Yeah, we shouldn't have any problems.
I didn't think so. Just like to bring that up. Obviously, lending's gotten a little tighter now, so the lenders will mention this, but make sure after we go under contract, if you're going to make a purchase, buy a new car or something, just run that by the lender.
Okay.
Sometimes those last minute changes before closing.
Yeah, we probably won't be making either.
Throw wrinkles. Yeah, you probably got enough going on.
Mm-hmm.
Some things that you can kind of just read through to ask as we're going through the houses. Again, we talk about resales, just so important. So I'm always going to be bringing up positives and negatives. But here's some good questions,
sure.
you can read through and keep in mind. We talked about radon. I think the areas we're going to be looking for, will be newer homes, so we won't have to deal as much with asbestos or oil tanks or wells and septic, things of that nature. Like I said, certainly resale value is always going to be at the top of my list.
Mine too.
Some things to consider. As far as closing costs, here's some general closing costs and what is covered on the buying and selling in.
Mm-hmm.
In that instance, I would refer you back to the lender and get a good faith estimate, which outlines more accurately what your costs are going to be.
Okay.
And again, if you have any questions on that, I have my mortgage license. I obviously don't use it actively, but I'm qualified to answer your questions and that as well. Here's some questions you can ask the lender. Again, they've got tons of programs depending on, especially if we move forward on the second home prior to selling the other one. So.
Gotcha.
As far as, here's some references, I can certainly give you past clients that have worked with me and our team that.
We may want you to do that if you don't mind.
Yeah, I'd be more happy
with a couple of folks to talk to.
Touch base with them, but I think you're going to be really happy here. And at the end of the day, I find that my clients are more than willing to refer me to friends and family. So
sounds good.
This is just a little bit of bio on me. I did grow up in the area, went to school here, went to elementary school and high school and NC State here in Raleigh. So I'm born and bred here, know the area well, and like I said, been doing this.
Now you guys are big college basketball folks, right?
Yep. You're gonna have to go to NC State now.
Is that what it is, NC State?
Absolutely.
I hear a lot about the Tar Heels and.
You got some fun rivalries, so you're gonna have to pick one of the three when you get here.
Okay.
So, this is also just a charity that our team supports, Triangle Spokes Group, and we like to put that information in there if you decide to donate at the end of the year.
Sure.
We basically raise money to give underprivileged kids bikes for lessons. We work with the Salvation Army.
Good.
So, do you have any other questions for me about the process?
No, I guess what I want you to do is call Lisa.
Yep.
You guys probably get on a conference call. Let her start talking about what she needs. Again, Matt, I'm just going to really rely on you to help us find a good value.
Absolutely.
You got to make Mama happy.
Absolutely.
And I look forward to working with you.
What would you say your other? I know resale is pretty much at the top of your list, but what would you say your next three kind of must-haves would be?
We got to have 4 bedrooms.
Okay.
Probably a minimal 3,000 square feet. I'd say.
Okay.
Somewhere in that ballpark. Got to have a 2-car garage at a minimal.
But really, for you, the schools.
The schools is the big.
And the investment in the big each for you.
For me.
Okay. Now, and then I'll get with Lisa. And get her top 5.
That's exactly right.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, I think, Wake County has one of the best reputations in North Carolina for the schools, so I just don't feel like that's going to be a problem.
Okay, good.
We'll be able to find you what you need. As far as expectations, I'd just like to briefly bring that up. Fortunately, my phone hasn't rung yet, but it usually does. So, you can always expect a couple things from me. I'm always going to be honest and upfront with you.
Sure.
When we go look at homes, I'm going to give you all the facts. I'm going to give you positives and negatives on resale.
Right.
So even if it's perfect for you and Lisa and you're like, Matt, this is the one,
sure.
I'm still going to let you know, hey, just down the road for resale, this might be an objection for another client.
Right.
And as far as communication, that's real important to me. Whether you like to text, email, phone, whatever's best for you. I'll get back to you within a 24-hour period, if not sooner. Does that work? Does that work for you?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. I mean, basically, if I'm going to meet like this, my phone rings, I'm not going to interrupt you to get that. So now, the one advantage with that is that with our team, you've got Brianne and Charlotte here in the office. So if it's during the week and there's something that needs to be taken care of, and I'm out in the field with somebody, then you can always contact them.
Okay.
So again, that goes back to the advantages of us having the team.
Yeah, gotcha.
So, great. Any other expectations you have of me throughout the process?
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm just going to lean on you.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
I need you to help me make a wise decision.
Absolutely. That's what I'm here to do. A couple quick forms I wanted to go over with you. North Carolina requires us to go over to work with real estate agents, and basically what this is to do is to make sure the consumer understands the difference between a selling agent and a buyer's agent. And like we talked about before, as a seller's agent, the seller agent is looking out for the best interest of the seller. I'm doing the same thing for you as a buyer's agent, so working on your behalf. Dual agency often comes up if an agent is working with the buyer and the seller on a deal. Now in this case, I don't have listings, so I'm always going to be on your team working on your behalf. No matter what listing we go look at, whether it's Keller Williams or not, I'm always going to be advocating for you and working on your behalf. If we do look at another Keller Williams property, so if you look at John Pace's listing or Ash's listing, then technically we're under the same envelope with Keller Williams, so that would be considered dual agency. But in that case, it's what's called designated agency, and I'm designated to work with you they're designated to work within. So really nothing changes. That's just a formality. Okay. So at the end of the day, I'm always going to be advocating for you.
You're in my corner.
I'm always in your corner.
Okay, that's what I want to hear.
So that's really what this form is just explaining.
Okay.
This is our agreement that we're working together. Basically, look for property for you and your family here in the Triangle surrounding areas.
Sure.
The major points, you know, I put a 9-month time period. Obviously, if you decide to wait till the house sells, we could be, you know, looking for a little while, or we could make a quick decision. The major points, the compensation, I'm compensated, you know, by the seller, so there's no upfront fee to work with me. And again, whether it's a resale or new construction, I'm going to be working, you know, on your behalf.
Gotcha.
If you do see any, you know, any for sale by owners, feel free to call me with the address. Oftentimes, I might have already been in the house, or you know, I can at least pull up the information and contact them. Most of the for sale by owners are more than willing to work with somebody with an agent, so that's not going to be a problem. This goes through basically that technically if this agreement ends within 60 days, if you purchase the property that we looked at, Keller Williams would be owed a commission. Again, I don't ever have that as an issue. By the end of this process, you know, I'm confident that you're gonna, you know, want me in your corner and be more than happy to, you know, work with me. So the firm's duties are similar to my duties, which is basically just to advocate for you, look out for your best interest. If we do home warranty, we briefly talked about earlier, but if we do decide to go with a resale, I'll negotiate the seller to pay for a home warranty for you. That would basically just cover a year if you had any major issues, you know, HVAC or electrical. That would step in and take care of that.
We're offering one in Missouri.
Exactly. So similar, it's pretty common here, and again, it's just added protection for you that the seller would pay for.
Okay.
At closing, we have a $250 administrative fee, which again just helps pay for our team, you know, Brian and Charlotte that help us. That's actually, you know, I'm going to probably negotiate the seller to pay some of your closing costs anyway, so I'll get that paid by the seller.
Okay.
In negotiations.
Do people commonly charge that fee?
A lot do, especially if they have the support system that we do with our team.
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So, dual agency we already talked about, so this is just going back through dual agency. And so, like I said, you're just going to sign that we're okay to look at all properties, including Keller Williams listed properties. And if we do, we'd be in dual agency, and then it would go to what's called designated.
Gotcha.
So just initial those two. So that's pretty much it. Do you have any questions on anything with those forms?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, our next step is pretty much for me to get on the phone with Lisa, get a little bit more details of what her.
And let me go ahead and let me get in touch with Chris and set up that meeting.
Yes, I will have him. Is this afternoon work for you if I have him give you a call?
In fact, today's probably my best day.
Perfect. Then I'll have him call you before the end of today and go ahead and have that conversation. He can get you that pre-qual letter, and then we can get out this weekend. Does Saturday at 9 work or what? Yeah,
in fact, Lisa's going to be down. Talk with her a little more about that.
Sure, I'll get all that
set up. She's in charge.
Great.
Okay.
Well, I'm really looking forward to working with you, John.
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it. That was easy.
Cool, man.
You were easy.